Good day, everyone, and welcome to another exciting vocab lesson. This is week 21 for my 7th grade students, and here are the words this week. Helix, infantry, precipice, cudgel, aesthetic, and missive. So let's jump into the words this week and find out what they mean. The first word this week is helix, helix, and it's pretty simple. It's a noun meaning small hill. So as you can see in this image, I have a small hill. It's not too big, it's not too small. It's right in the middle. It's a helix. So you might see a helix as you drive through the countryside and the hills get a little bit bigger outside the city. You might have tumbled down a helix as a child if you were in a hilly location. And synonyms for this word would be bluff, cliff, dune, elevation, highland, hilltop, ridge, and summit. Helix. The next word this week is infantry, infantry. This is a noun, and it's a group of soldiers or military units that fight on foot. In modern times, typically with rifles, machine guns, grenades, mortars, and other types of weapons. So you've probably seen many of these on television or movies. An infantry, like a small group of soldiers. An infantry can be large, it can be small, and they have various weaponry, and they protect and defend, for the most part, the citizens of a state. So synonyms of infantry would be infantrymen, soldiers, or troops. Infantry. The next word this week is precipice, precipice, and it kind of goes hand in hand with helix. It's a noun, and I have a precipice way high up here, and the precipice is a cliff with a vertical, nearly vertical, or overhanging face. It's a situation of great peril. So if I were to climb up this long, steep, vertical rock wall, the precipice would be the top of the mountain. And synonyms of this would be cliff, summit, apex, bluff, mountaintop, or highest point. Now, a precipice doesn't just have to be a literal mountaintop. A lot of people use this word figuratively, thinking about like their career. If they've reached the precipice of their career, they've become the boss, the top of the company. If you've reached the precipice of any sort of hobby, you have become the best. Say you're a guitar player and you've reached the precipice of guitaring, you're like the best in the world. So precipice is the top of anything. The next word is cudgel, cudgel. So you've probably never heard this word before, but you've probably seen it many times in movies or television. And it's a short stick that's usually thick and used as a weapon or a club. So this is a violent weapon, typically used in ancient times. A verb, if you cudgel someone, you strike them with a cudgel or you beat them. So this is a very violent weapon, and it's a very rustic weapon, not very sophisticated. It's just like a giant club. So synonyms of this word would be bat, nightstick, cane, club, or truncheon, a cudgel. The next word this week is something we use a lot in college, and we use it in common culture, but it's a very like artsy word, and it is aesthetic, aesthetic. And this is an adjective, so it's used to describe something, and it's concerned with the notions such as the beautiful and the ugly. So when we talk about aesthetic, we're talking about beauty, and more specifically, judging what is beautiful and what is not beautiful. It's relating to the study of the mind and emotions in relation to the sense of beauty, having a sense of the beautiful characterized by a love of beauty. So if I'm looking at something aesthetically, or I'm trying to judge the aesthetics of something, I'm trying to determine whether it's beautiful or not. So if I read a book and I'm trying to judge, is it aesthetically pleasing? Did I enjoy it? Were the words beautiful and meaningful? If I'm trying to judge a piece of artwork, is it beautiful to the senses? Is it done well? And as I've mentioned in the picture here, we typically judge beauty of a person using aesthetics. Certain people we consider more beautiful than others. That's the art of aesthetics. So synonyms of this word would be artistic, creative, artful, and inventive. Now the reason aesthetics is such a study is because many people view aesthetics differently. So what you might consider aesthetically pleasing would not be aesthetically pleasing to me. So typically aesthetics is in the eye of the beholder. Aesthetics. The next word this week is missive. Missive. Now this is a noun and it's a written message or letter. So I've included this picture here as a written, handwritten like letter or note. It can also be used as an adjective, meaning sent or about to be sent, especially of a letter from an official source. So anytime you pass notes with your friends that are handwritten, we wouldn't say like a text message is a missive form, although it's kind of a modern day missive form where we write letters to each other on text message, but this is typically a handwritten note. So synonyms would be memo, letter, note, dispatch, message, or report. Missive. Well, thank you so much for joining us this week. Here's a list of our week 21 words for my 7th grade students, and they are Helix, Infantry, Precipice, Cudgel, Aesthetic, and Missive. Well, thanks so much for joining us. Have a wonderful day. Hope to see you next time. Bye.